being enough because nobody could score in the fourth quarter.
So again, St. John's, Tipton, and Victoria. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get you the starting lineups and get you set for kickoff on Katy Country 94 and online at Nckssports.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Victoria High School, home of the Knights. In the Super Prairie League football game between our guests, the Blue Jays from St. John Tipton, and your own Victoria Knights. Would you please stand and remove your hats for the national anthem, which will be played by the BJSHS band. Programs at Victoria High School are primarily for students. The purpose of these activities is to provide a positive learning experience and opportunities for personal growth of the participants. We are pleased to host our guest from Tipton St. John. This competition is being conducted according to the rules of Kansas State High School Activities Association. Cheerleaders, officials, and spectators can assist in the promotion and achievement of good sportsmanship ideals by taking personal responsibility for keeping this contest at a high level of fair, clean, and wholesome competition. Good luck to both teams. And now your starting lineup for St. John Tipton. Number 2.
And Dusty Donis, Todd Clover, back with you here on Z96, or Katy Country 94, I should say. I switch stations so much, I never know which one I'm on. I'm on Katy Country 94 tonight, and Nckssports.com live video stream, the St. John Tipton Blue Jays and the Victoria Knights as we get close to kicking off here in Victoria, as lineups are being announced right now here on Katy Country 94 and Nckssports.com, and we'll go ahead and announce the starting lineups as well. We'll start first with Victoria offensively. Eric McAlonen will be the center, 190-pound senior. Left guard is Wheaton Hockersmith. Right guard, Brandon Brungart. Hockersmith, 174 senior. Brungart is a 190 senior. Right end, Taylor Corley, 166-pound senior. Has 7 catches for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns this season for the Knights. Also,
St. John Tipton is coached by Keith Cresden, assisted by Matt.
Tonight, starting at left end is Grant Weber, 176-pound senior, 4 catches for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. At quarterback, Joe Dortland, 150-pound senior, 35 carries, 277 yards and 7 touchdowns, 14 of 23 passing for 272 and 6 scores this season for the Victoria Knights. Colin Kisner, 150-pound sophomore, is a tailback, 7 carries for 52 yards. Also 3 catches for 40 yards this season. And Cooper Faunenstiel, 155-pound sophomore, has 26 carries for 279 yards and 6 touchdowns, 4 catches for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. I might be being drowned out by the Harleys over here. Apparently it's Harley Day here at Victoria. I see this all the time in Manhattan when you go to K-State games, but here it is at a high school football game. Harley night, apparently, here in Victoria. You'll see Parker Riedel as well, as I was given that lineup. He's a 120-pound senior, 30 carries, 130 yards, and a touchdown so far this season for Victoria. Offensively for St. John's Tipton, Justin Brummer's back in the lineup starting at center, a 6'3", 155-pound junior. Left guard is Eddie Kenningsman, 6', 158 junior. Right guard is Ryan Gingler, 5'10", 147 junior. Also at right end, Adam Bates, a 5'11", 147-pound sophomore. And the left end is Mason Eilert, a 6'3", 175-pound junior. Leading the team in receiving with 28 catches for 318 yards and 7 touchdowns this season. Davis Dubert, the quarterback, 6'4", 185 junior, 65 of 114, 806 yards passing so far this season, 13 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He's 57% completion, has 3 touchdown rushes this season as well. Parker Gates back in the starting lineup at tailback. As you can see him if you're watching the video stream right now coming out to the... He has 31 carries for 206 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground and 12 catches for 174 and 3 scores early this season. And just real action in about 3 full games if you really kind of look at it with what he's been able to do this season. At fullback, Aaron Hankey, 5'11", 158-pound junior, has 13 catches for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns and 6 carries for 11 yards. He hasn't run the ball a lot this season, but he'll get his opportunities now tonight at the fullback position with some shifting in the lineup for St. John's Tipton. So that's a look at their offense. Victoria defensively, they'll have Wheaton Hockersmith at nose guard, defensive ends are Eric McAlonan and Brandon Brungart. Bryant Carlene is a linebacker, 142-pound junior. Cooper Fonensteel at linebacker. The corners are Grant Weber and Taylor Corley. And the safety, Joe Dortland, for St. John's Tipton. Defensively, they'll look like this. Cale Dubert at nose guard. And at ends, Eddie Kenningsman and Mason Eilert. Aaron Hankey and Davis Dubert are the linebackers. Middle linebacker, safety, Ty Brummer. You'll see Parker Gates probably playing defense tonight again as well. And the corners are Adam Bates and Ryan Gingler for the St. John's Tipton Blue Jays. As we get set to kick off from Victoria here on Katy Country 94 and Nckssports.com. Glad to have everybody with us tonight here on Nckssports.com and Katy Country 94. Again, we told you that St. John's Tipton's beaten Victoria twice. These teams have met 5 times. Victoria's 3-2. When Victoria wins, they win by an average of 61-31. When St. John's Tipton wins, they win by an average of 25-21. So you can tell that the more physical St. John's Tipton is and the more disciplined defensively, they have a better luck against Victoria in their history. You can even just look at the scores. When they can hold in check this Victoria offense, things go a lot better for them.
You're saying it needs to be a defensive game tonight for St. John's Tipton.
Yes.
Yeah. 8-man football is a lot about big plays, but you got to play defense. Both these teams are known for doing that. We're ready to kick off here, it looks like.
Number 11,
Davis Dubert set to kick off for St. John's Tipton, and back to return for Victoria will be... Here's the kick by Dubert. End over end kick goes into the end zone, and a touchback as the Knights will start at their own 15-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, defensively, you just got to hold your position. You got to be sound in your gaps. You can't get knocked out of your gap. That's when big plays can happen for the offense. So St. John's Tipton, a big challenge for them defensively, but they've been up to it all year long.
So 1st and 10 for the Knights. Again, they have Dortland at running back. At fullback is Fonenstill. And the tailback, that's Kisner back there. That's Lane Kisner, who I was given as a starter coming into the game, but Lane is out there for Victoria, and he runs for 3 on 1st down, and it's 2nd down and 7 for Victoria.
Ty Bremer with a good tackle.
So on 2nd and 7, Victoria quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Dortland takes the snap. Lane Kisner gets the call. He slips up and gets tackled by the freshman Cale Dubert out across the 20 to the 21. A nice pickup for Kisner on 1st down, and that allowed him to get to 3rd and 4 here on this play.
They're going hurry up. So you're going to be busy.
Yeah, 3 yards on 1st and 2nd down. Handoff goes to Parker Riedel. Riedel coming up the sideline for Victoria, and is taken down after a 1st down yardage out across the 30 to the 33. That's a 12-yard pickup for Parker Riedel on the 3rd down and 4 run.
The offensive line really controlled the left side of the offense that time. A big yards for the Knights.
So 1st and 10 for Victoria. Dortland takes the snap, fakes the handoff on a read play, and comes on the near sideline where time after a pickup of about 4 across the 35 to the 36 of Victoria.
It was the option to the short side of the field. They were on the left hash and ran it to the left side there, so there really wasn't enough room for the option.
We'll call it a 3-yard pickup there for Victoria on 2nd down and 7. Handoff to the fullback, Parker Riedel, who goes straight forward across the 35 out to midfield. And taken down by Davis Dubert. Parker Gates is also in on the tackle, and it's a pickup of about 5, setting up 3rd and 1.
Yeah, because it looked like it was very well defended by St. John's Tipton, and you get 5 yards. That's what happens when the guys up front for Victoria are doing a good job. You look like it's good defense, yet you still give up 5 yards.
18 yards on 2 carries early here for Parker Riedel. And Parker Gates is limping to the sideline for St. John's Tipton. That's not a good sign.
He was in the bottom of the pile on that last
he
play.
did get up very slow, I noticed as well. So Parker slow to the sideline. Handoff goes to Lane Kisner, who has some running room and gets across the 35 of St. John's Tipton down to the 34 on the dive, and a pickup of about 4 on the play. And it sets up 1st and 10 for Victoria.
Ryan Gingler with the tackle. The corners have been very active defensively, and you don't like against the run game, your corners to be making the tackles. That means the running backs are getting into the secondary. Good drive so far by Victoria.
1st and 10 coming up for Victoria as they have the ball at the St. John's Tipton 34. Quick pitch this time goes to Fawnenstiel. He tries to get the edge, and he's tackled from behind by Aaron Hankey. Fawnenstiel's carry for 2 yards. It sets up 2nd down and 8 for Victoria.
Aaron ran him down from the weak side linebacker position. They didn't get a seal block. The right guard supposed to get to him cut off, and Aaron just read it quick enough and ran it down on the backside. That's just being real active and a good read from the linebacker.
So 2nd and 8 coming up for Victoria. I formation again behind the quarterback, Dortland. Dortland takes the snap. He rolls right, wants to pass. Has plenty of time to throw. And now tuck and run. He has running room to the 20 and knocked out of bounds at about the 15-yard line on the run by Dortland for 18 yards.
Dortland with the nice run. It was a run-pass option, but I really don't think there was ever any pass really in it, because both receivers that were out didn't really get off the line of scrimmage too quick, and I don't think Dortland ever had any idea of throwing the football.
If you're watching the video stream, there might be a little bit of an obstruction on this side of the field. That's just the way it's set up. Dortland wants to pass on 1st and 10. Looking into the end zone, over the top and in for a touchdown. Joe Dortland finds Grant Weber for a 17-yard touchdown pass, and Victoria is on the board, leading 6-0.
Do it right on the money. That's just a receiver that's open, not bad coverage, but he's open, and you put it right on the money. That's very hard to cover. And then defensively, when you have that run game that's so effective, it's really hard to play good pass defense.
Here's a 2-point attempt. Handoff is given to the fullback, Parker Riedel, and he takes it straight forward for the 2-point conversion. Victoria leads 8-0 with 9:39 to play here in the 1st quarter. And we are back after this timeout on Katy Country 94 and Nckssports.com in 60 seconds.
No, I don't even know why I was thinking it, Josh. And congratulations, that's another $10 donated by Rural Telephone and Next Tech, your local communication providers. Harris McElwain is set to kick off. Back to receive for St. John Tipton. Number 2, Parker Gates, and number 5, Ty Brummer.
Victoria leads 8-0 with 9:39 to play 1st quarter. As Victoria on the kick, Parker Gates is back to return. It takes a bounce to him at the 8, to the 10, 15, out to the 20. Parker trying to get around the edge, and he'll be taken down at about the 17-yard line as he tried to get back on the edge. Making the tackle was Colin Kisner for Victoria in the special teams. 1st and 10 for St. John's Tipton at their own 18.
Kisner, 150-pound sophomore. A lot of seniors, 6 seniors starting for Victoria, and you can really see that they have a very good class, and now this is going to be a big challenge. You're going to have to answer those scores by Victoria. Let's see what the offense for St. John's Tipton can do.
So the Blue Jays have 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. As they will come out with trips to the near side, Adam Bates, Parker Gates, and Mason Eiler. Davis Dubert in the shotgun for the Blue Jays. Here's the snap. Dubert rolling to the near side. Has plenty of time to throw. Looks down the field for Mason Eiler. No, shot him near midfield on the sideline of Victoria's side, and it's incomplete, setting up 2nd down and 10 for St. John's Tipton.
Well, I was saying a couple things. offensively, is St. John's Tipton can have time for Davis to throw the football. Well, there was only a 3-man front. He had time to throw that time, but that means there's 5 guys in coverage, and there was nobody open. So, I mean, there's several ways to play pass defense. In this situation, it was just play good coverage, no place to throw the football, and the defense wins out on the first play.
So 2nd down and 10 coming up for St. John's Tipton. They're back in a traditional I formation this time with Henke at fullback, Gates at tailback. One to pass, an open screen for Parker Gates, who makes the catch at the 15. It's well defended by McAlonen, who throws Parker Gates down out of bounds on the sideline. It's a loss of a couple on the play, but they actually look like they're going to give them forward progress back to the line. So no gain, setting up 3rd down and 10 for St. John's Tipton.
Yeah, it was just a good read. Right now, Victoria is just kind of reading and reacting defensively, so they were ready for that screen pass. And I'm sure well-coached team, they scouted and they know that the screen game is a huge play in St. John's Tipton's offense.
So the Blue Jays have 3rd down and 10 coming up now. They actually did move it back, a loss of 3 on the play. I didn't think they were going to give them a forward progress spot, so it's about 3rd down and 13 at the 15 now for St. John's Tipton. Davis wants to pass. He has some time, and pressured in the pocket, throws it up. It's tipped and caught by Justin Brummer, but they're going to say that Davis was down, and the sack is credited to the Victoria defense.
Yeah, his knee was definitely down on the play. The official standing right there, and immediately you could see that, I mean, we can't hear the whistle, but you could see that he was pointing down right away and signaling that the play was over. So, yeah, with 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter, 8-0 Victoria, and very impressive so far by the Victoria Knights.
It's a rough start here for St. John's Tipton as they've given up the touchdown in the 2, and now a 3-and-out as Davis Dubert sets a punt. Pressure comes, a nice high punt for Davis as Victoria will let it bounce. That's Corley back there just letting it take a roll, and it's down by Aaron Henke at the Victoria 37-yard line. Great field position here for Victoria to start their second possession, leading 8-0 with 8:52 to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was a 38-yard kick, and it looks like St. John's Tipton did get a timeout. I think Coach Christine called timeout just because they're having equipment problems. I couldn't tell. Is it Aaron's shoulder pads? Somebody's shoulder pads.
I can't see down there, but
Coach just called timeout because he wanted to work on one of the players' equipment.
8-0 in favor of the Knights with 8:52 to play here in quarter number 1. We'll take 30 seconds on Katy Country 94.
Just a reminder that all fans' possession and use of alcoholic beverages on school property is a violation of state law. Violators will be prosecuted to the full extent of that law. Your plans for celebration include use of
Victoria leads 8-0, 8:52 to play first quarter here in Victoria. This district contest between the Knights and Blue Jays. Victoria's going to spread things out this time in the pistol formation on 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line to start their second possession, leading 8-0. In motion to the near side, Faunenstiel. He's directed by his coach to go back over to the other side and he just dives on it to make sure he doesn't turn it over. It's a loss of 2 on the play. We'll call it 3 back to the 34.
And I'm sure Coach Christine's going like, yeah, thank you. You lined up under center and ran the ball right down and scored, and they did get a touchdown pass too. But I'm sure that this is part of the game plan that Victoria had going in, and what we saw, they could probably run the spread because the first pass I saw was very accurate.
Second down coming up here for Victoria. Lone setback is Parker Riedel. One receiver to the near side is Weber. Kisner to the far side. Handoff goes to the fullback Riedel, who takes it straight forward. And a nice defensive play by St. John's Tipton. Still a pickup of 3 back to the original line of scrimmage. Sets up 3rd down and 10 now here for Victoria.
Yeah, 3rd and 10. That's what happens when you lose 40 yards on first down, and then you come back with the fullback that's got good yards. First time that was defended really well by St. John's Tipton. So now you got 3rd and long. Is it going to be 2-down territory for Victoria? If that's the case, don't be surprised if they come back with the option here.
So again, 3rd down and Victoria in the shotgun is Dortland. He takes the snap and hands off to Riedel. Riedel trying to get the edge. Well defended this time by St. John's Tipton and Davis Dubert to pick up a 1 on the play, and it's 4th and 9 for Victoria.
Well, that was a good call by Victoria because they had picked up their biggest run of that first drive off of that play. But what happens when you have a smart defender at the linebacker position in Dubert? He'd seen that play and probably got sealed the first time it was ran. He kept his outside arm free that time, got to the outside and made the play for basically no gain.
Victoria set the punt as Eric McAlunan is back, received the snap, and Ty Brummer back to return for St. John's Tipton. Here's a snap. It's a high one for McAlunan as he puts a good kick into it. And Ty Brummer signals for a fair catch. McAlunan's kick goes into the end zone for the touchback. And St. John's Tipton will start the possession at the 15-yard line, 1st and 10, with 7:32 to play in the first quarter and trailing 8-0 to Victoria.
Yeah, that was turned that one over, got the spiral and 41 yards, but it does come out to the 15-yard line. He just missed by about a yard, putting the Jays back right at the 1-yard line.
So St. John's Tipton again will start at the 15, 1st and 10 with 7:32 to play first quarter. It's 8-0. If you have any other scores from the area tonight, don't be afraid to text those to us, the 545-5819. Local high school football scoreboard show coming up later tonight on Katy Country 94. 1st and 10 Blue Jays looking for the out route. Should have been intercepted on the near sideline by Victoria. Man, Taylor Corley, had his hands on that one. Couldn't quite get it. Miscommunication between Gates and Dubert on the out pass.
Well, and there is a counter to that play offensively, too. When someone's breaking on your out that quick, it's the sideline to go. And you know that's coming. The problem is if you're going to run that, he's going to have time to throw the football. And right now, he had the one time he got sacked, but the pass blocking has been good so far.
So 2nd and 10 now for St. John's Tipton after the incomplete pass. Davis Dubert under center takes the snap. Has some time to throw, looking for the screen out of the end zone. You were just talking about time to throw. He didn't have any time to throw that time for the Blue Jays as Wheaton Hockersmith was bringing pressure quickly, and it sets up 3rd and 10 now for St. John's Tipton.
Yeah, and Parker's not moving very well out there.
Exactly.
You can see that he's really dragging that leg and just doesn't have any of his explosiveness or quickness.
So that'll make things tough here tonight for St. John's Tipton. Parker's coming out of the game. And back in is Ty Brummer.
Pretty sure Coach saw the same thing I did. It was an out cut, and the reason the corner was able to get there so quick is he just didn't have any quickness on his cut.
3rd down and 10 for St. John's Tipton. Time to throw for Dubert this time. Goes down the field looking for Eilert. Mason goes up. It's over his head and intercepted by Joe Dortland. Dortland coming down the sideline at the 20, and he's hit at about the 18-yard line. Davis Dubert with the pass thrown is intercepted by Joe Dortland. 1st and 10 for Victoria at the Blue Jays 17.
And Kingsman with the tackle, but you think, well, the pass was overthrown. Yes, it was. That's because the defense basically cut the receiver off, wasn't able to get to the ball. It was good defense, and then you have the free safety there just to make an easy interception for Victoria.
So Dortland with the interception, 1st and 10 for Victoria in the pistol formation, 2 receivers on the near side. They throw to the near side to Colin Kisner. He makes the catch inside the 15 and down to about the 14-yard line, a pickup of 3 on 1st down, sets up 2nd down and 7 for Victoria.
Mason Eilert got off his block out there to make the tackle for the Jays. Actually huddling up on this drive. That'll give you a little bit more time. You don't have a problem with that, do you?
Not at all. Not at all. 2nd and 7 here for the Knights. As they come up to the line this time in the I formation, hand off to the fullback Parker Riedel. Make the Knights move to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown Parker Riedel. He takes that one in from 15 yards out, and the Knights lead 14-0 with 6:41 to play here in quarter number 1.
3 parts of the option. You got the dive to the fullback, you got the quarterback keeping it, and you got the pitch to the tailback. Well, everybody went with the quarterback and the pitch back to the outside. Nobody stayed home to make the tackle for the fullback, and it was an easy run for the touchdown for the Knights.
Again, 14-0 Victoria, 6:41 to play here in the first. 2-point attempt coming up. Dortland looking into the end zone for the 2-pointer, and Ty Brummer knocks it down in the back in the middle of the end zone, and it's incomplete. 6:41 to play first quarter. It's Victoria 14, St. John's Tipton 0. For Nckssports.com.
Congratulations, that's another $10 donated by Rural Telephone and Nckssports, communication provider.
14-0 Victoria. 6:41 to play here in the first quarter. Eric Macalona with the kickoff here for Victoria, and it's fielded by the Knights or by the Blue Jays, excuse me, and Aaron Hankey up, and he gets across the 20 out to the 25, and they'll spot him at the 26. It looks like 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays on their next possession, trailing 14-0 to Victoria with 6:35 to play in quarter number 1.
Well, that's another thing good teams do to you is they control field position, and St. John's Tipton's been backed up every time. St. John's Tipton started the game on the kickoff by Davis with the good kick, but then when you move the football, then that changes the field, and Victoria's had field position ever since.
1st and 10 for the Blue Jays again at their own 26. Handoff this time goes to Ty Brummer. Brummer has some room on that edge and gets out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. A pickup of 5 on 1st down for Ty Brummer on the far side.
Grant Weber with the tackle. Yeah, that's a good sign when you can pick up those yards. Haven't really tried the running game yet. Coach says, well, we're going to have to run the ball a little bit because we're getting the pass rush now, and trying to keep them a little bit more honest, thinking about the run a little bit. If you can get 5 or 6 yards every once in a while, then the passing game might open up.
A look to the sideline. We'll give Ty 6 on the carry. 2nd down and a long 4 coming up for St. John's Tipton. Dubert under center, takes a snap. Brummer gets the call again, and he slips and falls to the turf at the 30. A loss of a yard on the play. It's 3rd and 5 for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Brandon Brungart, defensive end, was right there for Victoria. He slipped and fell, but he had no place to go. He tried to get back. There were 2 defenders there for Victoria.
St. John's Tipton trailing across, and he got into the neutral zone, it looked like there.
Yeah, I didn't think anything was going to get called there.
He got back, but he went way across.
Yeah.
Brandon Brungart, that's a 5-yard penalty and more than likely a free 1st down here for St. John's Tipton. Depending on where the spot.
Might not have had his whistle in his mouth. You just never know. And but got the call, and that's going to should be real short because
they're going to have to bring it out and measure it, it looks like.
Well, if it was on TV, they'd just signal 1st down, even though it's obviously going to be about 6 inches short, maybe a foot short. It's 1 football length past the white line, and it's about a football and a half pass. You're the one that always sees that, so what do you think?
I think he's short. Just barely. Like you said, Todd, about.
I said 6, it was about 5.
Maybe 5, yeah. I mean, come on, Todd, you could have been closer than that.
Well, it's a little bit easier to tell when it's pretty much right by the white line how close it is.
Either way, it's a 5-yard penalty, and 3rd and very short now for St. John's Tipton. Davis will probably try to hard count again to get the rest of those yards, and we'll see what they have written up here on a 3rd and very short. Hankey at fullback and Brummer at tailback, and Gates hobbled again here for St. John's Tipton. And Davis will just keep it on the quarterback sneak, easily a 1st down on a 3-yard pickup for Davis Dubert.
And the Knights just stayed back. They just had their 3-man front. The linebackers weren't even coming up on the play. And then they had the free safety in the corners about 10 yards off. So it was an easy pickup for the 1st down with the quarterback sneak because Victoria was not crowding the line of scrimmage defensively.
1st and 10 coming up for St. John's Tipton. They have it at their own 37-yard line. Davis Dubert again under center with Aaron Hankey at tailback, or the lone setback. And he goes forward for a pickup of about 2 to the 39. And it sets up 2nd down and 8 for St. John's Tipton.
Yeah, and St. John's Tipton's just going to have to do this. They're going to have to get something out of the running game. And you're not always going to get good yards, but you get back to the line of scrimmage, you get 2 or 3 yards on the play. That's better than your quarterback every down, just having someone chasing you in the passing game. Then maybe some play actions and some things to get Mason deep. You might get some big plays offensively.
Down to 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. 14-0 in favor of the Knights. This pass by Dubert tipped the line. I believe it was Hockersmith that got a hand on it, and it falls incomplete. It's 3rd down and 8 now for St. John's Tipton. Davis just 1 of 6 passing. -3 yards for St. John's Tipton.
Well, that was a wide open play on the slant. Was going to get close to the 1st down for St. John's Tipton. That's just a well-coached defensive end that recognized it was a quick play, probably something they saw in their scouting report out of formations and something for him to be aware of, and he got the ball knocked down.
Mason Eilert and Ty Brummer split to the far side for St. John's Tipton on a 3rd and 8 play. Aaron Hankey the lone setback. Davis gets a block from Aaron Hankey, rolls to the near side, wants to throw, fires over for Adam Bates, open, makes the catch at the 20, 15, 10, and inside the 10, down to the 5. Nice improvisation there by Davis Dubert, a 37-yard pass from Dubert to Adam Bates, and it's 1st and goal for the Blue Jays.
Like I said, you get a little bit of running game, then all of a sudden you can get by. Defensive end was coming clean, and it looked like he was going to get a sack, get a hit on Davis, but Aaron Hankey, just the last second from his running back spot, saw his quarterback in trouble and got back there and just got enough of a block to give Davis time to get out of the pocket and then find the wide open receiver, setting the Jays up 1st and goal at the 5.
1st and goal Blue Jays, as Todd just said, at the 5-yard line. Receivers split to the far side are Mason Eilert and Aaron Hinkey. Ty Brummer the lone setback. Davis has time. Out route pass caught by Hinkey. Touchdown. St. John's Tipton. There is a penalty. No, that's the pylon. I thought it was a penalty flag. Pylon.
Yeah, it's laying over there
instead of orange, so it kind of threw me off.
I think Aaron knocked the pylon down. He knew where he had to get.
14-6 in favor of Victoria. 4:21 to play here in the first half.
Excellent coverage on the play, but it was just a very small window to throw the ball in there, and that's where it was put. A nice route by Aaron on the play, gets the ball into the end zone. Touchdown Jays.
So Davis Dubert to Aaron Hinkey from 5 yards out, and the touchdown. 2-point attempt coming up. Here's a run by Ty Brummer. He slips at the 4 and falls short of the goal line. Apologies on the video that time on that touchdown. 14-6 the score. 4:21 to play here in the first quarter. It's St. John's Tipton trailing 14-6, and we're back in 60 seconds on Katy Country 94.
Number 56, Cooper Finnansteele, and number 34, Taylor Corley, set to return for the night.
.421 to play, first quarter. St. John's Tipton trailing Victoria now 14-6 after a 5-yard touchdown pass from Davis Dubert to Aaron Hinkey. Dubert now kicking off for the Blue Jays with Corley back to return. It goes over his head and through the end zone for a touchback, and Victoria will start at their own 15 on this possession.
Well, it was kind of important there to get a touchdown because we've seen that Victoria's going to move the ball. They're going to put points on the board, and you just simply have to try to match them. You don't want to get into a shootout and a situation where you're already down 2 scores and Victoria is potent offensively. That was a big drive for St. John's Tipton. 1st and 10 Victoria. They have the ball at their own 15-yard line. Dortland will be in the pistol, it looks like, again, with Fawnin still the lone setback. Lane Kisner split to the far side. Dortland's actually going to step under center this time on 1st and 10. At the 15, Dortland fakes the Fawnin still and keeps, has some running room as he comes up the field. Dortland into the open field and finally drugged down by Ty Brummer right around the midfield stripe. That's a 25-yard run for Joe Dortland on 1st down for Victoria. And I'm not sure what Brummer got a hold of, but it wasn't much, just enough of a jersey because Dortland was gone. That was going to be 65-yard touchdown on kind of a quarterback counter. Fake it left to the fullback and then go back over the other side because the linebackers are doing a good job of reading. Both Davis and Aaron are doing a good job of reading the plays from their linebacker position. A very well executed play by the Knights. 1st and 10 at midfield for Victoria. This time they are in the pistol. 2 receivers to the far side. One to the near side is Weber. Faking a reverse as Dortland keeps again and goes forward across the midfield stripe to the 36-yard line. A 4-yard pickup. I think that was Mason Eilert on the tackle for the Blue Jays. And what the Knights are going to see on that play, they're going to see the defensive end on the play that the reverse could have been ran to, made the tackle on the quarterback. When they come back to that play, they're probably going to pitch it because if the defensive end is collapsing like that, I'm sure the Knights coaches saw the same thing I did. So for 2nd down and 6 now for Victoria. Dortland steps under center. Riedel at fullback. Lane Kisner at tailback. Dortland takes the snap, and he kept it that time. Might have made the wrong read that time as he got tackled in the backfield. Davis Dubert was there for St. John's Tipton. A loss of a yard on the play. Sets up 3rd and 7 for Victoria. Yeah, I agree with everything. He needed to give it to the fullback on the play, but that's the thing about the option. When you're the quarterback, you don't have much time. What you're doing is you're reading the defensive end. If the defensive end comes down to tackle the fullback, you pull it out, and then you run the option with the tailback to the corner. If he stays outside, then you give it to the fullback. 3rd down and 7 for Victoria after the 1-yard loss. I formation behind Dortland at quarterback.
Dortland takes the snap. Handoff goes to Lane Kisner, and Aaron Hankey's back there to make a quick tackle for the Blue Jay defense. And that's a pickup of about 2 on the play. Sets up 4th and 5.
Aaron's been really active from that left linebacker position. It looks like the Knights are really they want to run the ball left, and you see that a lot. Aaron's the linebacker on the other side, and he's running the plays down from the back side. That means you're getting a good read, and you're running the play down with some good speed.
So McElwain set the punt now here for Victoria. Everybody's up for St. John's Tipton, and alert for a fake possibly here on 4th and 5 at the 35. McElwain will go ahead and punt it this time. It's an end-over-end punt. It takes a nice Victoria bounce inside the 5, or right at the 5 is where they'll down this one. And St. John's Tipton will start this possession at the 5-yard line, 1st and 10. Trailing 14-6 with 2:01 to play first quarter. They got down 14-0, but they made a couple stops here defensively. Things are going well right now for the Blue Jays.
Well, we know St. John's Tipton will play well defensively. You know, can they stand up to the power game? That's what we don't know. But the Knights have hurt themselves on the one drive when they went to the spread and had the bad snap, lost 4 yards on first down. And then on that play, they had the big loss there where the quarterback should have given.
John's Tipton has 1st and 10 at their own 5-yard line to start this next possession. High formation behind the quarterback, Davis Dubert. Dubert hands off to the tailback. That's Brummer. And Ty is met immediately at the 4, a loss of a yard on the play. Sets up 2nd and 11.
That's Brungard again, Brandon, 190-pound senior. And you'll hear a lot when we're talking about the Victoria Knights. You'll hear the senior word a lot because 6 of the 8 players on the field, offensively and defensively, are seniors.
So 2nd down and a short 11 coming up here for St. John's Tipton. Excuse me, as we're down to 1:30 to play here in the first quarter, 14-6 the score. Here's a snap. Dubert wants to pass. Has some time, goes over the middle for Aaron Hankey, who makes the catch, and Aaron's out to about the 10-yard line. A pickup of 6 on the play. Sets up 3rd and 5 for the Blue Jays.
I think it's pretty obvious to the people watching at home or listening, or the fans that made the trek out here to Victoria with Parker out of the ball game. Aaron's role is going to be pretty huge for St. John's Tipton, and he's doing a good job of getting things done both offensively and defensively at this point.
Parker still has his pads on, but he's laying on the bench over on the sideline for St. John's Tipton. 3rd down and 5 coming up here for the Blue Jays. They have the ball at their own 10. I formation behind the quarterback, Davis Dubert. Dubert on a hard count takes the snap. Play action, has time to throw again as he rolls over to the right side and looks down the field and just throws it out of bounds. I think he was looking on an out for Adam Bates. Goes out of bounds at about the 20. And it's 4th down and 5 now for the Blue Jays.
Well, that's one of the things I think when we were talking about this game on the Express, if you listen to in the pregame, we talked about the pass rush and the pass coverage is what I mentioned. There's going to be guys that aren't open, and you can't force the ball into coverage. And Davis did a good job of just throwing that away instead of having a turnover, setting the Knights up in good field position. You hope to get off a good punt and try and flip the field a little bit.
4th and 5 for the Blue Jays as Dubert is set to punt. Back to return is Taylor Corley for Victoria. Dubert gets a decent leg into this one as Corley will field it at the 37. Makes a sidestep move, and a block in the back on Parker Riedel will be called as Corley gets across the 35. That one was pretty obvious.
Yeah, Aaron Hinkey does a good job of getting down there in coverage, and the back went away from the blocker. So it was, and some kids just cannot understand. If you're seeing the guy's back, you can't touch him, and the referees are right there on Aaron, who's the guy in coverage on the punt. And it wasn't a big push, but it doesn't need to be. You just touch the guy in the back, it's going to get called. And but that was good punt coverage. That's, like I said, that's why on 3rd down as a quarterback you make a good decision. Nobody's open, throw it away, punt the ball, play defense, and that's what you do on the play. Now all of a sudden maybe having a turnover, setting the Knights up maybe at the 20-yard line, they're all way back to their own 30.
10 yards from the spot, and a block in the back penalty as Victoria will start as Todd just sit at their own 30-yard line. Pistol formation here for Victoria. 2 receivers to the near side are Weber and Colin Kisner. Dortland looks, fires right side, catch is made over there by Corley, and it's a pickup of, call it 8 on 1st down, setting up 2nd and 2.
2nd and 2, and a nice arm by the quarterback there. Just kind of goes about 8 yards and turns around, kind of a spot pass, hits him, but good coverage by St. John's Tipton. You make the tackle, you can't miss that because it's going to be a long run for a touchdown if you don't make the tackle.
Victoria's going to take this to the end of the first quarter. After 1, it's Victoria 14, St. John's Tipton 6. We're back with the second quarter in 60 seconds right here on Katy Country 94 and Nckssports.com.
the gym so you can be practicing your routine for your halftime show.
First quarter in the books here in Victoria. Victoria leads St. John's Tipton 14-6. It'll be second down and 8 coming up for Victoria, or second down and 2, I should say, after the timeout.
Well, after the first 2 drives of the ball game, 1 drive for each team, we didn't know it was going to be 14-6 at the end of the quarter. It didn't look too good for the Jays after the first couple drives, but that's what we see from the Jays. We know that mentally they're going to be in it. They're going to play as a team, and they're going to see what happens. Anytime you play defense and you're smart with the football, it gives you a chance.
So Victoria has second down and about 1.5 yards, maybe 2, to start the second quarter. Dortland under center takes the snap. Handoff goes to Riedel. He breaks 1 tackle, has enough for a first down. Across St. John's Tipton's, into St. John's Tipton territory. A 7-yard pickup for Parker Riedel, 1st and 10 for the Knights.
And really what's been there all game long has been the fullback, Aaron Hinkie, with yet another tackle for the Jays.
1st and 10 for Victoria. They have the ball at the St. John's Tipton 35 after the run by Parker Riedel. I formation behind the quarterback Dortland this time. At fullback is Spawning still. Colin Kisner at tailback. Colin gets the call. He takes it straight forward on a dive and gets to the 30 of St. John's Tipton, and just inside the 30 to the 29. Pickup of 6 on first down for Colin Kisner.
Kind of interesting. You see everything from the Knights. They come out, run an option and hurry up. Then they go 2 or 3 drives with spread, and now they're just going to a power run game.
Second down and a long 4 coming up here for Victoria, just inside the St. John's Tipton 30. I formation again behind the quarterback, Dortland. He hands off to Lane Kisner. Kisner breaks 1 tackle, bowls over the defender Bates, and gets enough for a first down inside the 25 down to the 23. Pickup of 8 on the play for Kisner.
And Dusty, I think you'll agree with this. I don't think there's any doubt schematically for Victoria to match up against the defense for St. John's Tipton. This is the offense that they're going to have the most success with.
Yep.
Is to just line up and run the football straight ahead.
1st and 10 at the 23 for the Victoria Knights. Kisner splits to the near side. The lone setback is Fawnenstill. Dortland steps under center. Takes a snap. Handoff goes to Fawnenstill. Makes a sidestep move. Gets across the 20 and down to the 16-yard line. A pickup of 7 on the play, setting up second down and 3.
And this is just what wears on a defense. A lot of people don't understand how defenses get tired. Defenses, you got to get off blocks. You got to pursue the ball. And if you don't get there, you do early in a game, and when you don't late in a game, all of a sudden those 3 yards run became 8 yards run, 8-yard runs, and then they become touchdowns.
Victoria has second down and 3 coming up at the St. John's Tipton 16-yard line. Fawnenstill goes in motion to the far side, and the pistol formation is Dortland. Option, he fakes the pitch, and he's stopped by Eddie Kenigsman and just kind of takes a duck and loses a yard on the play. Sets up 3rd down and 4 here for Victoria.
Very assignment sound against the option. You have your corner that has the pitch back. Your defensive end doesn't take the fullback. And what we've seen so far against the option, the pitch back, the corner's got him, and the defensive end is taking the quarterback. That's why the fullback has been there. What has been open. The option, I think St. John's Tipton is going to defend that very well.
So here we go with a 3rd and about 4 for Victoria. Tight-eye formation. Handoff goes to the fullback, Riedel. Riedel breaks the tackle, gets through to the 5. Touchdown. Parker Riedel takes it in from 17 yards out, and another touchdown for the Knights. They lead 20-6.
And Dusty, that's the play that the Jays defensively have not had an answer for. The answer in the 3-man front to that power run game with the fullback is that 250-pound nose guard that can control guard to guard. Well, we know that there's not a 250-pound nose guard around, and that makes defense very effective.
17-yard touchdown run for Parker Riedel. 2-point attempt coming up. Dortland on option fumbled, and the 2-point attempt fails as Cale Dubert jumps on top of it for the Blue Jays. 9:37 to play here in the first half. It's Victoria 20, St. John's Tipton 6, and we're back in 60 seconds on Katy Country 94.
But congratulations, that's another $10 donated by Rural Telephone, your local communication provider.
Dustin Honest and Todd Clover back with you here on Katy Country 94 and Nckssports.com as Victoria kicks off after the touchdown, and this one goes into the end zone. St. John's Tipton will start at their own 15-yard line again on this possession, trailing 20-6, 9:37 to play here in the first half.
Very impressive drive by Victoria. There was no mistakes defensively by St. John's Tipton. It was just a matter of winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, converting a third down that was needed, and then just dominating with the run game with the fullback.
First and 10 coming up here for St. John's Tipton at the 15-yard line as Davis Dubert comes up to the line. Again, still no Parker Gates out there for St. John's Tipton as he was hobbled on the first defensive series. Handoff goes to Ty Brummer as he tries to get the edge, and it's across the 15 out to about the 17-yard line. Pickup of 2 on the play for Ty Brummer.
Corley with the tackle from his cornerback spot by Victoria. And that was a little bit of a counter play, and if you can run some counter plays against this quickness of Victoria and not give up penetration, you have a chance for a good running game. And that was a one-on-one tackle that the corner had to make for Victoria. So a well-blocked play by St. John's Tipton, yet that's how good Victoria is. You just get 2 yards.
Yeah. Second down and 8 now for the Blue Jays. Quick pitch goes to Brummers. He tries to get the edge. Not really anywhere to go that time. Another stop defensively. That's Brandon Brungart. And a pickup of a yard. Third down and 7 for the Blue Jays.
Well, you know, we see some good defensive end play by St. John's Tipton. We talk about that. Our listeners know how much we brag about the defensive end play by St. John's Tipton. This Brungart, I'm impressed. He was getting off blocks and going parallel to the line of scrimmage and makes the play 20 yards from where he started at his position. And that's a defensive end that's very active, uses his hands to get off blocks, and pursues to the ball.
Third down and 7 now for St. John's Tipton to have the ball at their own 17. Dubert in the shotgun this time. 2 receivers the far side are Hankey and Mason Eilert. Davis has some time, looking deep down the field, looking for Mason Eilert. He overshot him, nearly intercepted on the far sideline by Taylor Corley at the 30, but it falls incomplete, setting up 4th down and 7 now for the Blue Jays.
Well, and you can see what Victoria is going to do because they know Mason is a big target in 2 ways. 1, his size, he's a big target, and 2, in the game plan, he's a big target to get deep. So you've got the free safety that's back there. Anytime there's a pass play, you know he's going to go towards Mason to help out. So basically he's double covered on the play.
So the Blue Jays set to punt now on 4th down and 7. Taylor Corley back to return for the Knights. There's a good punt here from Davis Dubert as Corley bobbles it, fumbles it at the 17, but picks it back up. And again, they're going to call a block in the back coming up the field on Parker Riedel, I believe. Aaron Hankey made contact with him.
Yeah, it was an easy call.
Yep.
I don't think anybody in the Victoria stand seemed to agree with it, but when the guy's running away from you, you hit him in the back, it's going to get called. So it's really a simple thing for the officials to do on the play, and especially at the high school level, anytime you have something close to a block in the back, you can't get away with it. They don't call it that tight at the college and professional level if it's kind of on the side. Every time at the high school level, unless the officials just simply don't see it, and the guy that's running down in the open area trying to make a tackle on a punt, it's pretty easy for everybody to see.
So the block in the back moves it back to the 17-yard line. That's where Victoria will start this possession, leading 20-6 with 8:07 to play here in the first half.
I have noticed that fans are a little biased towards their own
well,
team.
yeah, you know, it happens.
Both sides.
First and 10 Knights. Dortland with the handoff. Riedel trying to get around that edge and well defended again by who else? Aaron Hankey. That was actually Dortland on a keep.
Joe Dortland on the carry.
And he was taken down by Henke for minimal gain.
I actually told somebody that there was a block in the back that somebody brought up a game 44 years ago, and I said, yeah, you beat us on that punt return on a block in the back in the game of the century in 71. So, yeah, fans are biased.
We'll say no gain on the play there for Dortland, maybe a yard, second down and a long 9. Lane Kisner bounces off of one tackle, gets out to the 20 to the 21-yard line. Pickup of 3 on the play for Kisner, sets up 3rd down and 7. 3rd and 6 for Victoria.
Well, Aaron with good penetration again from the linebacker position. Didn't make the play, but he blew the play up so that his buddies could get there, and Kingsman is the one who gets there initially to make the tackle for a very short gain, bringing up the 3rd and long. Let's see if Victoria goes back to the passing game or if they'll maybe just come back to the fullback. You usually don't think fullback on 3rd and 6, but as successful as he has been tonight, that might not be a bad idea.
6 carries for 24 yards for Lane Kisner. The fullback Riddle that you're talking about has 7 for 61 and 2 touchdowns. They fake the handoff, a couple play actions. Dortland looking up the field, gets it to the fullback through the air. Parker Riddle makes the catch, has a first down, out across the 30, out to the 34, and a pickup 13 on the play.
Well, that's why, as a coach, you like a quarterback that is athletic, because Aaron Henke came through clean with a linebacker blitz and flushed the quarterback out of the pocket, but Dortland was active enough just to stay away long enough for his receiver to get open, and then you have the throw and catch to convert the first down.
Clock stops as Riddle went out of bounds. 6:49 to play here in the first quarter or first half. It's 20-6 Victoria. Quick pitch to Cullen Kisner. Kisner has some running room, lowers the shoulder, and gets out to the midfield stripe, just short of the midfield stripe. Actually, we'll call it a pickup of 6 on the play for Cullen Kisner. 2nd 4 coming up for the Knights.
And you can see, St. John Tipton, they're still getting off the ball, making plays, but just not as many guys around the ball because you get blocked when you play somebody like Victoria.
Short 4 to go for a first down here for Victoria, just outside of the midfield stripe. Handoff goes to the fullback Kisner, the lone setback this time as he takes it straight forward and picks up enough yardage for a first down, a 4-yard pickup for Lane Kisner.
Aaron Henke on the tackle again. Sounds like might be saying Aaron's name a lot. That's because he's having a really, really good game for the Jays defensively. And, you've got to have linebackers making tackles. And what we've seen since early in the game, the guys up front are getting off their blocks and making more tackles instead of just the secondary having to make tackles. So you can see that St. John Tipton is playing better defensively if they can just get an answer for the fullback, and they did on that play.
1st and 10 here for the Knights as they have the ball at the Blue Jay 37. A play action fake and a keep by Dortland. He's into the open field. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Joe Dortland takes it in from 37 yards out, and that was the right read that time for Dortland. He took it in for the score.
Well, and that's that counter play again. I remember a couple years ago in that big playoff game that was in Beloit when they came to town, that was a play that they broke a long run on. And what it is, that fullback, when you fake to the left side as a quarterback and then you go the other way with it, it's just a counter play that sets up good blocking angles to seal the linebackers. So
37-yard touchdown run for Joe Dortland. Here's a pitch to Faunenstiel as he takes it in for the 2-point conversion for Victoria. 28-6, Victoria with the lead. 5:49 to play here in the first half. And we're back in 60 seconds on Katy Country 94.
Next sector, local communication providers. Eric McElwain is set to kick off for the night. Vector is deep to the Blue Jays, number 5, Cy Brummer.
Eric McElwain has it teed up to kick off for Victoria. They lead 28-6 with 5:49 to play here in the first half. An end-over end kick as Bates will just let it go into the end zone again. St. John Tipton will start 1st and 10 at their own 15 on this drive. Again, 28-6 Victoria after the 37-yard touchdown run by Joe Dortland and Cooper Faunenstiel's 2-point added on the end of it.
Yeah, and we're seeing good special teams tonight.
Yep.
Both kickers kicking the ball out of the end zone, so you're back up the 15-yard line. We've seen good punting by both punters. We've seen good coverage. So it's two good teams that play well in special teams. Good coaches do a good job of taking care of good special teams play, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
Beloit was up 22-0 at the end of the first quarter on Minneapolis tonight in NCAA League play. St. will go over the other matchups at halftime. Here's a first down play and a handoff to Ty Brummer. He has nowhere to go as he stopped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. It's 2nd down and 10 for the Blue Jays.
On that power play, there was literally 5 Knights there between the guard and end to be there to make the tackle, or there in case the guy that had him wrapped up to make the tackle. So, yeah, here's the situation, 28-6 in favor of the Knights with 5.5 minutes to go in the half. St. John's Tipton needs something good, maybe a play action pass to get something, then get good yards.
Blue Jays with just 3 rushing yards so far tonight as a team. Quick pitch goes to Adam Bates trying to change that. Bates has some room and gets out to the 20. Pick up a 5 on the play, sets up 3rd and 5 here for the Blue Jays.
Adam with a good run, and it was well blocked. It was not a sweeper. You're going to get to the outside. Victoria's well-coached defensive end makes him cut up inside, but did a pretty good job of blocking and got good yards on the play, bringing up 3rd and medium yards, and look for, obviously, for the long count here to try to draw Victoria off. But, you know, they're going to be disciplined and probably not going to happen. But we have seen it happen once tonight.
So 3rd down and 5 coming up for St. John's Tipton as Dubert comes up to the line. Henke at fullback, Brummer at tailback. Dubert takes a snap. He fakes the pitch. Looks near side. The ball's tipped and intercepted by Victoria. On the near sideline, picking it off is Grant Weber. And Victoria's in business, 1st and 10 at the St. John's Tipton 20-yard line. The 2nd interception of the night for Davis Dubert.
Well, Davis is a quarterback, has 2 guys as he's going backwards 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, and there's 3 guys guarding Mason. And the ball is put right on the money. It's one heck of a throw. It's just a tremendous interception by a cornerback that had great coverage on the play, and he had help.
1st and 10 Knights at the Blue Jay 20, and the shotgun is Dortland. To his right hip is Riedel. And they give it to Riedel. Riedel around the edge to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Parker Riedel from 20 yards out. And the Knights lead now 34-6.
Well, this is why I made the comment about getting off blocks and getting tired defensively. I mean, you can see that the power game is wearing on St. John's Tipton defensively, and that nobody got off blocks on that play. And when you don't, because I know I always hear people argue about the offenses out there, they get tired too. Yeah, they do, but they don't have to tackle somebody. You have to actually finish a play defensively. The Jays were not able to on that play.
20-yard touchdown run for Riedel. The pitch to Fawnin still, and he's able to bowl his way into the end zone again for the 2-point conversion. 4:24 to play first half. Victoria's lead all of a sudden up to 30 at 36-6. And we're back in 60 seconds on Katy Country 94.
Number 15, Eric McLonan, set to kick off for the night. Number 20, Adam Bates. And number 5, Ty Brummer, deep to receive for the Blue Jays.
Victoria 36, St. John's Tipton 6, 4:24 to play here in the first half. Another end-over end kick. This time Brummer fields it at the 2 for St. John's Tipton. Has some running room out to the 10, and he's knocked out of bounds on the far sideline by the Victoria defender. Let's see who that was over there. I couldn't quite catch it.
Looked like number 56 defensively. There was a couple guys. I think that's who it was. As you said, 36-6, a little over 4 minutes to go in the first half. St. John's Tipton is going to look for something offensively. You know, you're not getting anything out of the running game. I think you said 3 yards so far running offensively, and then in the passing game, nobody's been open.
And again, Parker Gates re-aggravating the ankle injury early in this game, so they played most of this game off, actually all the game offensively without Parker. Here's the snap to Davis Dubert. He tries to get around the edge. He's taken down by Lane Kisner on the far sideline as he gets out to the 17 to pick up maybe a yard on the play for Davis Dubert.
Yeah, so you try to get something out of the quarterback. You go to some spread and try to get the quarterback run game, and the defensive end simply is not blocked on the play. He gets off the block, makes the tackle, and it's a yard loss. And now you're setting up 2nd and 11 for St. John's Tipton.
And I forgot that they didn't have a touchback that time, and they lost a yard that time on the play. So it's 2nd down and 11 for the Blue Jays. I formation behind Dubert. Quick pitch goes to Adam Bates. Adam again trying to get the edge, has to cut it back inside and gets to the 20 and outside the 20 to the 21. A pickup of 3 on the play, maybe 4 we'll call it for Adam Bates, 3rd down and 7.
We always brag about St. John's Tipton defensively. We do most of their games and how they pursue. You could just really see, Dusty, as that play was coming to us, everybody stays in their lanes, and you see Bates tries to cut back, and the defense is there for the cutback. You can see a very well-schooled defensive football team in Victoria.
3rd down and 7 coming up for St. John's Tipton. We're down to 3:42 to play first half. Blue Jays trailing 36-6. Dubert in the shotgun to his right is Aaron Hinkey. Brummer and Bates split to the far side. Here's the snap to Dubert. Davis looking for a screen, but then had to throw it down the sideline and just throws it out of bounds to assistant coach Matt Lewis on the sideline. It goes out of bounds, and it's incomplete at about the 27-yard line. And it's 4th down and 7.
I'm seeing the play as Davis is trying to find somebody when he has to get rid of it because of the rush. Nobody has their head around and nobody's open. There literally is no place to throw the football. And that's what I talked about on the Express. Is it going to be the pass rush? Is it going to be the coverage? It's been both. Now the pass rush is getting there, and the coverage has been very good so far by Victoria.
So 4th and 7 now for St. John's Tipton as they're forced to punt again. Davis Dubert standing back at his own. Back to return is Taylor Corley for Victoria. Here's a snap. Dubert lets one fly. Corley will get a chance at this one at the 24. To the 25, 30, cuts back inside, has it midfield, breaks a tackle, 30, 25, just has to beat the punter Dubert. And he's cut down by Davis Dubert right there at the 12-yard line. Big time return. Corley took a hit there, and he gets up just kind of trying to run that off on the punt return.
Very nice punt return, and that's a good athlete to have as your safety in Davis to make the tackle. That's not easy in the open field when someone has a full run at you to be able to make the tackle.
So Victoria has 1st and 10 at the St. John's Tipton 12. Again in business. Dortland to the shotgun to his right is Parker Riedel. On 1st and 10, Dortland takes the snap. He gives again to Riedel, and the tackle is made by Davis Dubert. A penalty flag comes out at the spot of the tackle. Might have been a hold as Davis was trying to get to him.
Yeah, I think you got a defensive end over there, or they've been a very clean game. The officials haven't even been part of the game so far. Had a couple special team penalties. Other than that, really nothing for them to do other than watch a well-played football game by both teams. And yeah, it's 36-6. Victoria's ahead, but St. John's Tipton's playing hard and playing well. It's just that they're playing the #1 team in the state. They were state champs last year, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Your best athlete's not out there, and you're going to be outmatched already.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, and that's what we've seen tonight for the Blue Jays. Here's a snap to Dortland. It was low. He picks it up. He's pressured and throws it forward. That's intentional grounding because it didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, and none of those guys, I don't believe, up at the front are eligible receivers. Either way, it's intentional grounding because it didn't get back.
Yeah, I think there was only one end out, so one of the offensive ends had to be in there blocking, so there had to be somebody within a few yards of that pass, but I don't think he's going to get away with it. You're going to be right on your call. So, yeah, that's a big penalty, and it is a loss of down. So it's going to be 15, 20, 25, 28 yards to go on 2nd down from the 30-yard line.
2nd down because of the holding penalty on 1st down. 2nd and about 30 or so.
I jinxed it just when I said it's been clean and basically no penalties. I'm sorry. I won't say anything.
So the intentional grounding will move them back now with 2nd down coming up for Victoria at the 30. They need the 3 for a 1st down. So 2nd down and 27. Here cuts back inside, makes a juke move out to the 20. Ty Brummer makes the tackle and a pickup of 10 on the play for Joe Dortland, setting up now a 3rd down and about 17.
I like that play. You've got Corley from his end position trying to get deep behind the secondary, and you can see the quarterback looking for him, but you have good coverage by Gingler for St. John's Tipton on the play, so he decides to tuck it and run and pick up good yards, and now it's just 3rd down and still long, but he still had a good game.
3rd down and 17 as Dortland is under center this time. On setback is Lane Kisner. Dortland takes the snap. Again on the counter play, he goes forward, gets across the 20 down to the 15 to the 14-yard line. A pickup of 6 for Dortland. 4th down and about 12 coming up here for Victoria.
Obviously, 4-down territory when you have the field position that you do, and that's a good call by Victoria there. That's the one that they just broke for 30, 47 yards for the touchdown, and so you come back to it. But St. John's Tipton stayed home a little bit more, and that's what happens defensively. You know, you say, "Hey, I got hurt on that play. I'm going to stay home and make the tackle," and that's what happens as we're at 1:45 to go in the half. Looks like they're going to call timeout here. They're just letting the clock run down until they see the referee that starts counting the last 5 seconds, and then they'll call timeout. Well, the reason they do that is they want to take as much time away from St. John's Tipton as they can here before half, because they know St. John's Tipton's going to get the ball back either because of a score or over on downs.
36-6 in favor of Victoria right now. A minute 32 to play in the first half, and we're back in 30 seconds on Katy Country 94.
Also, our doubles teams, even though they actually had to play each other, both doubles teams, Brianna Leiker and Madison Gerhardt, and Emily Schipper and Megan Karsten also advanced to state. We want to wish the girls best of luck tomorrow as they go for some hardware, but they will all be playing next week in Kansas City. Let's give them a big round of applause.
1:32 to play first half. It's 36-6 in favor of the Victoria Knights here in Victoria. 8-man Division II District 7 opener for St. John's Tipton. Victoria playing their second district game. They won last week over Northern Valley 58-8 in a game that was called at halftime. They had 445 yards of offense in that one. Not quite that many tonight here for the Victoria Knights, but boy, they've been efficient offensively when they've needed to, and playing very well against the St. John's Tipton team tonight.
Yeah, it seems like if they start off their drive well, they score. If they have the bad snap or the bad read on the option, it's kind of messed up a couple of drives for them. But give some credit to St. John's Tipton.
Dortland looks into the end, or toward the goal line. It's made, and the catch is made by Grant Weber at the 3, and he walks into the end zone for the touchdown for Victoria. The Knights now lead 42-6 with 1:26 to play in the first half.
Yeah, you get a good blitz. You get quarterback flushed out of the pocket. You think you have a good play working defensively, but that's when, as I said a couple drives ago, that's when the athleticism at the quarterback position takes over. He dodges the blitzer that thought he was going to have the sack, and then kind of off balance is able to throw the ball to at the end right at the first down marker for the touchdown.
15-yard touchdown pass. Dortland to Weber. Here's the pitch to Lane Kisner, who dives in for the 2-point conversion for Victoria. 1:26 to play first half. Victoria 44, St. John's Tipton 6. We're back in another 60 seconds on Katy Country. Victoria scored 30 straight points. The kickoff by McAlonen goes out of the end zone again, and it's 1st and 10 for St. John's Tipton, 15-yard line. They lead 44-6. A minute 26 to play first half. Do the Knights, and St. John's Tipton with 1st and 10 at the 15.
Yeah, this is just tough on you mentally when you're in all your games, you win most of your games, and then all of a sudden you just run into a team like this, and you play well in the first quarter, and then it's just like all of a sudden everything's going against you in all phases of the game, and it's just hard to pick up yards. The officials are waving something here.
Must be somebody with
Somebody
lights
with
on
lights.
or something in the corner.
Yeah, just a little break here, and it looked like he could be out there at the airport.
Yeah, okay.
To give
Directing
directions
planes,
to
yeah.
the planes, saying going this way, that way.
Looks like we're ready to go again here. St. John's Tipton was first and 10 at their own 15. High formation behind the quarterback, Davis Dubert. Dubert hands off to Brummer. Trying to get the edge. He's tackled for a loss of a yard back at the 14-yard line. That's it, sets up second down and 11 as the clock runs at 1:16 to play in the first half.
Well, it'll be interesting after this play to see if Victoria uses their timeouts to see if they want to try and get the ball back to get another score here. Another score and point after touchdown makes the 45-point rule come into play. So that'll be interesting to see strategically what Victoria does here.
You know, in district play, I think a lot of coaches have the mindset of, you know, if we can get this game over, we'll get it over. And if not, then maybe not. I don't know if they'll call the timeouts to do that, but if they have the opportunity, they usually do. Quick pitch goes to Adam Bates. Bates cuts back inside again. He gets across the 15 out to the 18. Pick up a 4 again for Adam Bates. That's up 3rd down and 7 for St. John's Tipton.
And the answer to that is they're
Yeah.
not going to.
No.
So if you're St. John's Tipton, you obviously are going to run the ball on this play. The ball's marked ready for play with 30 seconds, so you don't have to snap it until 5 seconds. So we should go to half after this play as long as there's no incompletion or going out of bounds.
Again, Victoria leads 44-6, down to 19 seconds to play here in the first half. On 3rd down and 7 for the Blue Jays. Davis Dubert steps under center. Hinkie at fullback, Bates at tailback. Davis takes the snap, quick pitch to Bates. Bates again has to cut inside, gets out to the 20. Pickup of about 4th and 5. The clock will run out, and that's the end of the first half. At halftime, it's Victoria 44, St. John's Tipton 6. We take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have our John Francis LLC halftime show coming your way on Katy Country 94, online, katycountry94.com, and online video stream at Nckssports.com. And welcome back on Katy Country 94. Welcome to the halftime show presented by your area Lennox dealer, John Francis LLC in Beloit. For super great service and all your plumbing, heating, electrical, and air conditioning needs, call John Francis at 2060 or 738-8801. Our halftime score is Victoria 44, St. John's Tipton 6. As the Blue Jays have struggled a bit in the first half. Victoria has been very solid all the way around. The only issue for Victoria, kind of like St. John's Tipton has, we've seen, and maybe some teams that win games, is just penalties sometimes. 5 penalties for 40 yards for Victoria. St. John's Tipton hasn't been penalized yet in the game in the first half. Victoria, 284 yards of total offense in that first half, 228 on the ground and 56 through the air. Led by Joe Dortland with 11 carries for 98 yards in the score. Parker Riedel, 8 carries for 81 and 3 touchdowns. Lane Kisner, 7 carries for 28 yards. 2 for 12 for Colin Kisner. Cooper Fawn still 2 for 9 on the ground. In the air, Dortland is 5 for 5 for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns. They don't throw the ball a lot, but we've seen this from Victoria for years. They're efficient when they do throw. They had a Garrett Dreiling who was 6'5" a few years back. They threw the ball quite a bit more when they had him at quarterback because he could see over the defense. And I remember calling their state championship game against Hanover when he was playing. But, you know, they don't do it a lot when they don't have to, and they haven't had to. But they've been efficient. Two catches for 32 yards and 2 scores for Grant Weber in the passing game as well. So they're efficient. They're effective with everything they do offensively. And like I said at the start of the game, it's a well-oiled machine.
We talk about pretty much on a weekly basis with St. John's Tipton how they are so hard to defend because they're balanced. Now they're not as physical as they were a few years ago, which affects your running game. So the running game isn't what it once was for them, but they still are very good in the passing game. Well, what are we seeing tonight? We're seeing from Victoria what St. John's Tipton is usually able to do to people is to be good in the running game and the passing game, and that makes it very hard to defend someone when you have to worry about both of those, because then all of a sudden you just can't load 8 people up to try and stop the run, as we've seen St. John's Tipton do quite a bit this year when they were playing teams they knew that either were by choice weren't going to throw it or could, and they were able to slow those teams down. Well, this is legitimately the number 1 ranked team in the state, and they're showing why.
They got things started. A 17-yard touchdown pass from Joe Dortland to Grant Weber in the first quarter. Parker Riedel added the 2-pointer to make it 8-0 at 9:39, and then Riedel a 15-yard touchdown run. The pass failed 14-0 at 6:41 in the first quarter. And then the Blue Jays kind of got things going a little bit. Aaron Hankey got a 5-yard touchdown pass from Davis Dubert after a big pass play from Dubert to Adam Bates, set it up at the 5, and the run failed. It was 14-6 at 4:21 in the first quarter. But since then, 30 straight points for Victoria. Parker Riedel, a 17-yard touchdown run, made it 20-6 at 9:37 in the second. Joe Dortland, a 37-yard touchdown run, and then Cooper Fauna still out of the 2-pointer, made it 28-6 at 5:49 in the second. Parker Riedel, a 20-yard touchdown run. Again, Fauna still on the 2-point conversion, made it 36-6 at 4:24. And Weber, a 15-yard touchdown pass from Dortland, connecting for the second time. Lane Kisner added the 2 at 1:26 in the first half. It was 44-6 in favor of Victoria. For St. John's Tipton in the first half, just 62 yards of total offense, 17 rushing, and 45 through the air. Adam Bates, 4 carries for 16 yards, 7 for 6 for Ty Brummer. Aaron Hankey with 1 for 2, and Davis Dubert 3 for -7. He was sacked once, that kind of ruined his numbers there in the first half as far as rushing. He's 4 for 12 for 45 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions passing in the first half. Adam Bates, 1 catch for 37, 2 for 11 for Aaron Hankey. And Parker Gates, who again got hurt on that first defensive series, tried to tough it out a little bit on one offensive series, but he couldn't do it. 1 catch for -3 yards, and he hasn't played since then here in the ball game for St. John's Tipton. And clearly, like I said, when you take out this athlete with the caliber of Parker Gates that we've talked about all year, not just tonight with the injury issues that he's had, it's been tough sledding offensively for St. John's Tipton at times without him in the lineup.
Yeah, you need that other receiver. You need the ability to make people miss. It makes everybody else better. And, you know, whether that's how much difference that's going to make in the ball game against this team, you know, we'll never know. But, you know, you obviously need all your weapons. He needs to be healthy for St. John's Tipton. And, you know, next week is obviously showing how important it's going to be. That's probably what you're getting ready to go to next, or what's going on tonight. But, yeah, they need a healthy squad next week.
Again, we're on our halftime show presented by your area Lennox dealer, John Francis LLC in Beloit. For super great service and all your plumbing, heating, electrical, and air conditioning needs, call John Francis at 738-2060 or 738-8801. St. John's Tipton 6 at the half. We'll come back and tell you about the other games that are going on in the area tonight after this break on Katy Country 94 and online at Nckssports.com. Say there was water in that cooler. Dusty Donna, Side Clover, back with you here on Katy Country 94 and online, katycountry94.com. Halftime show presented by your area Lennox dealer, John Francis LLC in Beloit. Super great service and all your plumbing, heating, electrical, and air conditioning needs. Call John Francis, 738-2060 or 738-8801. Other games going on in the area tonight include here on Z96.3 tonight, Lakeside at Wakefield. Clifton Clyde at Osborne tonight in the 8-man Division I District 4 action. And also Lincoln at Hanover. Rock Hills is at Overland tonight in non-district play. Also tonight, Thunder Ridge at Northern Valley in this same district that St. John, Tipton, and Victoria are in 8-man Division II District 7. Also in 8-man Division II District 2, Sylvan Lucas at Chase. Center at Tesket and Burton at Wilson. 8-man Division II District 1, Frankfort at Pike Valley, and Axtell at Southern Cloud tonight in other matchups. So those are the matchups in the Northern Plains League. In the North Central Activities Association, Beloit at Minneapolis, as Beloit leads 40-14 with 1:11 to play before halftime at last check. Ellsworth at Southeast Saline tonight. We'll try to find that score as well. Republic County at Bennington this evening in district play. Russell at Goodland and Inman at Sacred Heart in the NCAA. Mid-Continent League, Smith Center's hosting El Saline tonight. Ellis at Leota. Norton is at Colby. Oakley at TMP. Phillipsburg hosting Sedgwick in a non-district game. Plainville at La Crosse. And an 8-man district play tonight. Hill City is hosting Atwood, Rollins County at Stockton. And Trigo is at Hodgman County tonight in 8-man Division I action as well in district play. See if we can get some scores for you here. It's not an exact science. I just scroll through Twitter trying to find scores from the area. Again, Beloit was up 40-14 with 1:11 to play before halftime tonight here in that matchup. And kind of looking at other scores, Scott City is up 21-0 at halftime over Ulysses. That's pretty impressive. Ulysses ranked in the top 5 in 4A D1. We know Scott City's good every year, and they lead 21-0 at halftime over Ulysses here tonight. Also, Nemaha Central leading Jefferson West at halftime 13-9. Rossville's up 41-0 over Centralia at halftime in Class 3A. Other scores that we have, look at this one. Rock Creek is leading Silver Lake at halftime 14-6 in Class 3A. Caldwell leads Pretty Prairie 26-24 at halftime. So there was some interesting scores there. They're talking about games that I want scores of, but they're not giving scores. That's usually how that works, right? So we'll try to find some other scores as the evening goes on here in high school football in the area. If you have any scores, you can always text us at 545-5819. This is an interesting score that some people might be interested up Mankato area, because this could be who Rock Hills could play in the playoffs if they continue on. The winner of this game, or you would think the winner of Hanover would win out and Rock Hills would win out. Rock Hills would be 2 in the district. Burlingame leading Rural Vista 22-6 at halftime in that one. Also, just got a text. Northern Valley's up 22-14 over Thunder Ridge. I would guess that's a halftime score. And those are the scores that we do have from the area tonight. Again, if you have any scores, you can always text us at 545-5819. Sacred Heart is leading Inman 34-8 near halftime in that contest as well. So stay tuned. We have the local high school football scoreboard show coming up at 10:05 tonight. We'll give you all the scores from the games tonight.
We'll be Wade, right?
Yep, Wade. Yep.
Back and refreshed from his all-night catching the Royals first game and getting back at a decent hour this morning.
Yeah. So we'll have the local high school football scoreboard show presented by State Farm Insurance in Beloit at 10:05 this evening after our games.
Big day tomorrow. The #1 ranked Jays volleyball, they're probably watching and listening to us, so we got to make sure we mention them. #1 ranked in the state in the Rock Hills tournament tomorrow. Thunder Ridge will be there. Thunder Ridge state ranked. Pike Valley out of the league is there. Rock Hills obviously there. Bennington, Logan, lots of good teams. Really good tournament tomorrow. So those of you who are not harvesting, that would be a good time to head up there and watch that. And then the Beloit girls are ranked 5th and having a great year. They actually have the weekend off, so the city of Beloit has pretty good volleyball.
Yep.
Awesome volleyball.
Combined between the two teams, they have 7 losses this year. That's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
Also, Thunder Ridge is at that tournament, as you said. They're number 10 in 1A Division 1 right now. We have another score at halftime. Plainville and La Crosse are tied at 14. I picked that game. It's my closest game of the week.
Somebody's going to have a good second half in that one. Hey, that could get you.
I might get a win this week.
There you go. There you go.
We'll see if I get lucky. I'm glad you brought up volleyball, because I also wanted to bring up local tennis. Congratulations to Aaron Levan of Osborne, as well as Breton Walters and Savannah Knoll of Osborne. They've all qualified for state tennis coming up next weekend, as Aaron Levan won her match earlier today over her opponent. She beat Archer of Elyria Christian 4-6. She lost the first set but won 6-2, and then won a pro set 10-6 in the final set. She'll play in the semifinals tomorrow. And then Breton and Savannah, Breton Walters, Savannah Knoll, who are Nckssports.com athletes of the week this week. They beat the Sacred Heart team 6-1, 6-3, and they'll play for 5th place tomorrow morning. So again, congratulations to all 3 of them from Osborne as they're headed to the state tournament. I know I talked with Marty Walters at the beginning of the year. He's a coach there this year, and he said that Jackie Gorley, who had coached him last year and had an unfortunate incident and wasn't able to coach this year, and turned it over to Marty there. And he said that Jackie said that they've got a good chance to qualify for state, all of them this year. And Osborne has 3 that are going to the state tournament. They'll be going back to Wichita next weekend, but they'll finish things up tomorrow at the Regional 3-2-1A tournament in Wichita. So congratulations to the Lady Dogs in tennis.
Yep, they do a good job with that, and we wish them all the luck in the world.
Again, we are at halftime with the Victoria Knights leading 44-6 over the St. John Tipton Blue Jays.
This is like the old days of the Orange Bowl. You're not old enough to remember, but you had like an hour break back in like the 70s and 80s. You could get a good hour nap in just for the halftime. They had a big,
cheerleaders,
like a whole lot of little cheerleaders out there. Now they're starting to get warmed up here. Still 3 minutes, and then got to put another 3 minutes on. So we still have a good break here.
Yep. We will take another break here on Katy Country 94. Again at halftime at St. John's Tipton trailing Victoria 44-6. And we're back after this break on Katy Country 94 and online Nckssports.com. And again, welcome back at halftime. Your halftime show presented by your Air Lennox dealer, John Francis LLC in Beloit, for super great service. All your plumbing, heating, electrical, and air conditioning needs. Call John Francis at 738-2060 or 738-8801. Again, at halftime, the St. John's Tipton Blue Jays trail Victoria 44-6 here in Victoria in this 8-man Division I District 4, or District 7, excuse me, showdown. 8-man Division 2, District 7. I have Division I District 4 on my mind because of that the district I was talking about at halftime. We're in 8-man Division 2, District 7, and Victoria leads 44-6 at the half. And again, it's just kind of been a workmanlike dominant effort for Victoria tonight.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. And once again, I think I've mentioned several times, St. John's Tipton hasn't played bad. It's just been that they're playing a better football team tonight. And you know, they came in and played well for a quarter, and they were down 14-6 at the end of one, and had the nice drive where they made some big plays, put points on the board. They were getting some stops defensively, making Victoria punt, but then you could just really see the size and the strength of Victoria starting to wear on St. John's Tipton. And then in the second quarter, the last 6 minutes or so, it would just bang, 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 3 touchdowns, and that's why we're at 44-6 at halftime in favor of Victoria.
So again, Victoria with the advantage at the break, and again in the first half, they led 14-6 at one point in the first quarter and scored the final 30 of that first half to go on to lead 44-6 at halftime. We have one final from tonight. Solomon winning over Canton Galva tonight, 50-0. That game was called at halftime. Again, Beloit at halftime leading 40-14 over the Minneapolis Lions in NCAA league play here this evening. So that's a look at some other scores that we do have, and we'll try to find some other scores as we go along in the local high school football scoreboard show coming up at 10:05 tonight on Katy Country 94. And again, right now, Lakeside and Wakefield on Z96.3. Haven't heard if that's gone to half or what the score would be there here tonight between Lakeside and Wakefield. But Chad Halleck is on the call on Z96.3. Major League Baseball playoffs today. The Royals, they didn't look good. Johnny Cueto gave up 4 runs, and it was 4-1 in favor of the Astros early, but Royals came back to win it 5-4 in playoff action today. A 14-inning game between the Blue Jays and the Rangers. The Rangers win 5-4, and they're now up 2-0. And the Cardinals are now up 4-0 in the top of the 9th over the Cubs. Mets and Dodgers coming up later tonight. We're ready to start half number 2 here in Victoria as St. John's Tipton will get the ball to start the second half. Field kickoff, and it gets hit at about the 8-yard line, and that's where St. John's Tipton will start the first possession of the second half, trailing 44-6 here in half number 2.
Yeah, just really good coverage. It was the reverse. St. John's Tipton likes to run, and just didn't get one person blocked quite quick enough on the play. As a result, it's going to start back way up with the ball about the 7-8 yard line.
First and 10 coming up here for the Jays. As they have first and 10 at the 8. As the Blue Jays come out with the I formation behind quarterback Davis Dubert on first and 10. Dubert takes a snap and gives to Bates, who's bottled up in the backfield for a loss of a yard on the play.
Yeah, that's Hockersmith, Wheaton Hockersmith, 174-pound senior. I wanted to make sure I got that name in before the game is over. Makes the tackle. Like I say, at the line of scrimmage, it's actually a 1-yard loss for the Jays with the first attempt to run the ball in the second half.
Second down and about 11 coming up now for St. John's Tipton as Davis Dubert steps under center. I formation behind him. Dubert takes a snap. Play action, wants to pass. Looks like it might be a screen attempt, and Davis tries to throw it away. I don't know that there's a eligible receiver. If they gave it to Victoria in the first half, I'm thinking maybe they should have done this. I don't know if there's a difference when you're down 44-6, but there maybe shouldn't be, but that would have been a safety too.
Yeah, and Aaron was, let's say, sort of in the area, and sometimes though when you are getting hit, as you're being thrown, you're not going to be as accurate. So that can be a situation, at least as a quarterback, that's what you're going to argue. The time you were referring to, the quarterback, he just threw it in, it was just thrown into the ground and nobody's around you. That was obviously trying to get rid of the ball, and intentional grounding was a legitimate call in that situation.
3rd down and 11 now for St. John's Tipton after the play. Davis pressured out of the pocket and sacked in the backfield at the 3. That's a loss of 4 on the play for Davis Dubert, and that sets up 4th down and about 16. Now we'll call it 15 for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, just too many guys getting to the quarterback before anybody is open, and actually nobody was open on the play anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered how much time he would have had.
So 4th down and about 15 coming up now for Victoria, or excuse me, for St. John's Tipton. Victoria in the return game.
Yeah, this is a dangerous situation, putting out of your end zone. You got to block well, but then you also got to get the coverage to prevent the long return.
Here's the punt. Fielded at midfield. A quick tackle made by Aaron Hankey for the St. John's Tipton Blue Jays. Brian Carlene was on the return that time for Victoria. And he gets to the 32. And that's where Victoria will start their next possession. A score and a 2-point conversion would put this one in the books.
Yeah, that was a really good job on special teams. Aaron has had a really good game for St. John's Tipton defensively, especially in the first quarter, and then on the coverage with the punt coverage.
1st and 10 for Victoria. They have the ball at the St. John's Tipton 32-yard line. There's the snap to Dortland. The handoff goes to Riedel. He's powering his way forward, breaks into the open field, and just struck down by Davis Dubert. Probably a touchdown-saving tackle there by Davis as Riedel gets all the way to the 22 and a pickup, or actually to the 17, a pickup of 16 on the play.
Yeah, he had the corner that was trying to make the tackle, but he couldn't get to him because the person blocking him was staying right on him, and the back was staying behind him, so there was actually a blocker between the corner and the play. And that's just a good job by the offensive lineman for Victoria.
1st and 10 Knights at the Blue Jays 17. Dortland on a hard count takes the snap. Another counter for Dortland. He's got some running room to the 10, around the edge to the 5. Dives to the pylon, touchdown. Joe Dortland takes it in from 17 yards out. It's 50-6 Knights, and a 2-point attempt could end the game here with 10:05 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Especially that's the first time they run the counter to the left. They fake the fullback to the 2-hole, and then the quarterback pulls out and goes to the opposite direction. And if you over pursue, then that's that's a very effective play, and it has been several times tonight. Really, just one time, St. John's Tipton has defended it very well.
So a 17-yard touchdown run for Joe Dortland. 2-point attempt coming up, and into the end zone for the 2-point conversion for the Knights, and that'll do it. 10:05 to play, 3rd quarter. The game is called. Victoria 52. St. John. As the Knights are now 6-0 on the season and 2-0 in district play. St. John's Tipton, they're rarely on this end of this kind of a defeat, as they fall to 4-2 on the season and 0-1 in district play, in an all-important game coming up next week against Otis Bison in the district. Victoria 52, St. John's Tipton 6. Game called at 10:05 in the 3rd. Back to the post game after this time out.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight, supporting their team.
Well, what's doing? Victoria wins tonight over St. John's Tipton. Final score 52-6. Game called at 10:05 in the third quarter. Again, a pretty rare occurrence when St. John's Tipton sees their game come to a close early on the losing end, as they drop to 4-2 on the season and 0-1 in district play. Victoria now 6-0, excuse me, and 2-0 in the district, and they improved their overall record against St. John's Tipton to 4-2 in this series. Victoria won in 2004, 2011, and last year they won 68-56 in the Lloyden district play, and win tonight 52-6 over St. John's Tipton. Blue Jays won games in 05 and 13 in the playoffs, but again, Victoria now 4-2 overall against St. John's Tipton. Tonight is the 90th career victory for Doug Overly as the head coach of the Victoria Knights. 90-20 in 10 seasons for Victoria, with a couple state championships under his belt, and a team this year that looks like they're good enough to repeat at the state.
Yeah, that's a good football team, and you know, I've mentioned several times, you know, St. John's Tipton did all they could. 14-6 at the quarter with this bunch. You got to think that you had a good game plan going in, and we're ready to play and play good football. But just the strength and the physicality, and then that's what we had talked about when we recorded the pregame show, and talked about before the game that, you know, that was going to be the big issue for St. John's Tipton, and you're able to stay with somebody for a while, but eventually it just keeps wearing and wearing on you, and it really started to show in the second quarter, and at that point it was pretty much all Victoria. But you know, 14-6 the quarter, you got to be proud of that, and you got to talk to the kids and say, hey, you know, we got a big game next week, we got to get healthy, we got to be ready for it, and come out just like we did tonight and play well in the first quarter, and just try and sustain that against a team that you think probably isn't as good as this team, who I think everybody thinks is number one in the state for obvious reasons.
Yeah. 4 yards in the second half on their one drive, so they finished with 316 yards of total offense. 12 carries for 115 touchdowns. Parker Riedel had 9 carries for 97 yards and 3 scores for Victoria, and Dortland finished 5 of 5 passing for 56 yards and 2 scores, both to Grant Weber, 2 catches for 32 yards and 2 touchdowns. Victoria finished tonight 5 penalties for 40 yards, 2 takeaways for Victoria, and none for St. John's Tipton, and that's something that the Blue Jays, like I said in the pregame, have done good this season. They're plus 14 in that. They're now plus 12, as they were minus 2 tonight on a couple interceptions thrown by Davis Dubert, and again, solid defense as well tonight from the Victoria Knights, holding St. John's Tipton to just 56 yards of total offense, 45 passing for Dubert on 4 of 12, a touchdown, and actually 4 of 13, as he had 1 incompletion in the second half, but a touchdown and 2 interceptions. Leading rusher tonight for St. John's Tipton was Adam Bates, with 5 carries for 15 yards for the St. John's Tipton Blue Jays. And Victoria wins it by a final of a 52-6. Game called at 10:05 in the third quarter. Their final score was a 17-yard touchdown run for Joe Dortland, and Lane Kisner added the 2-point conversion there in the third quarter. We went through the scoring summary at halftime not long ago, so we won't go through all of that again. But again, the Blue Jays win it, or excuse me, the Knights win it over the Blue Jays tonight, 52-6. Game called at 10:05 in the fourth quarter. We'll take one more time out. When we come back, we'll give our block of the game, the Nckssports.com athlete of the game as well. It's all coming up on Katy Country 94 after the break. I'm going to give Aaron block on that. Who's the athlete? Dusty Dennis, Todd Clover back with you one final time from Victoria High School here on Katy Country 94 and online at katycountry94.com as the St. John Tipton Blue Jays fall to 4-2 tonight with the loss 52-6, game called at 10:05 here in the third quarter. Excuse me, Victoria again picking up the victory. They're now 6-0 on the season and 2-0 in 8-man Division 1 or Division 2 District 7 play with the victory tonight, 52-6. The final score. Time for the Nckssports.com athlete of the game. Your home on the web for the latest news, standing schedules, and scores. Northern Plains League, North Central Activities Association, other area league schools, including Smith Center and Concordia, is Nckssports.com. And we're going to go ahead with Victoria's Joe Dortland, the quarterback. 12 carries, 115 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He also completed all 5 of his passes for 56 yards and 2 scores. Typically, we like to keep it with the local players, but Dortland and Parker Riedel all gave good cases tonight, and a couple other Victoria Knights, so it was kind of hard to avoid giving it to Dortland or somebody from Victoria, and so we'll give it to him, the athlete of the game, here from Nckssports.com. Block of the game from H&R Block Beloit. For all your tax, bookkeeping, and payroll needs, get the expertise you deserve. H&R Block and Beloit, never settle for less. This one was pretty easy, actually. It was a standout block from Aaron Hankey that set up the first touchdown for St. John's Tipton and the only touchdown tonight for the Blue Jays on a 37-yard pass play from Davis Dubert to Adam Bates. And Hankey got a good block to spring Davis free to get the pass off, and he gets the block of the game from H&R Block and Beloit.
And then he was rewarded with the pass reception and the actual touchdown to end that drive, so that was very fitting. Yeah, he made a really good job. The right defensive end was going to come clean and get the sack, and the running back is supposed to get out there to get that block. And Aaron Hickey did that, gave Davis time to find the running back down the field to set up the Jays' first and goal at the 5, and that was the scoring drive for St. John's Tipton tonight. So that was a very good job by Aaron on the play.
Again, Aaron Hankey, the block of the game from H&R Block and Beloit. For all your tax, bookkeeping, and payroll needs, get the expertise you deserve at H&R Block and Beloit. Never settle for less. In the local high school football scoreboard show is coming up at 10:05 tonight on Katy Country 94. So stay tuned for that, as Wade will be back in studio for the local high school football scoreboard show this evening. Try to get some other scores if we can from the area real quick. We again remind everybody that Osborne tennis players Aaron Levan, as well as doubles team Brenton Walters and Savannah Knoll, have all qualified for the state tournament in Wichita next weekend. Aaron Levan will play in the semis tomorrow, so she's still alive for a chance to win a championship there in the singles rounds. And Knoll and Walters will go for the 5th place finish at regional tennis tomorrow at Genesis Health Club in Wichita, hosted by Wichita Independence. So congratulations to them. As far as we know, nobody from Beloit has qualified for state yet. And the only ones that were still alive were Paige Hayesflinger and I had it right in front of me. I lost it, but the doubles team is still alive for Beloit. Paige Hayesflinger and Haley Prince are still alive there at last check, but we haven't heard on their results yet in their match that they were playing here today. So that's a look at as far as girls tennis is concerned in Class 3-2-1A. Again, stay tuned. Local high school football scoreboard show coming up tonight, and then we have high school football next week as well, coming your way on Katy Country 94 and Z96.3. We'll do it all again next week on Katy Country 94. It's Rock Hills at Lincoln, 8-man Division 1 District 4 game. That's an important game for Rock Hills as they try to win out and make it to the playoffs in 8-man Division 1. And then TMP Marion at Beloit on Z96.3 next week. Also online video stream at Nckssports.com. So those are the scores, or that's what we have coming up here tonight. Phillipsburg is leading Sedgwick. I was interested in that one, 32-21 with 5:45 left in the third quarter. In that contest, let's see if we have anything new from Beloit.
They should be early third.
40-14 at halftime was the last update on that one. So like Todd said, probably just early third quarter. Hasn't been anything new yet in that one. And Smith Center tonight, see if we can find anything new there. Nope, no scores yet on Smith Center's Twitter page here tonight. But again, stay tuned for the local high school football scoreboard show at 10:05, and we'll go through all the scores, have some analysis, hopefully talk with some winning coaches tonight as well on Katy Country 94. Our game of the week tonight on Kitty Country 94 and Nckssports.com was brought to you by the Farmers Bank of Osborne, Fouch Insurance and Citizen State Agency, First National Bank, Coors Auto Parts, Agmark LLC, Thompson OK Tire, Farmway Co-op, Farmway Credit Union, Cunningham Telephone and Cable, Caracal Implement, S&S Drug and Home Health, Beloit, Simpson Farm Enterprises, Central National Bank, Beloit, Tipton, Mankato, and Glen Elder, Banner Restaurant in Beloit, NTK Tech in Beloit, Beloit Medical Clinic, Meyer Chiropractic, TGO and Chiropractor, Sunflower Manufacturing, Willow Spring Services, S&S Auto Body in Lincoln, Next Tech, Ludwig Chiropractic, and all things exterior. We thank all the sponsors for bringing the broadcast to you tonight and every night on Kitty Country 94 during the high school football season in 2015. Remind everybody to stay tuned tomorrow. Baylor and KU on Z96.3. College football action, pregame coverage at 10:30 and kickoff at 11 o'clock. And then on Sunday, the Chiefs are back in action against the Bears on Z96.3. And the Chiefs Radio Network pregame coverage begins at 11 and kickoff at noon between the Bears and the Chiefs. Chiefs need a win to right the ship. Royals again win tonight 5-4 over the Houston Astros to tie that series at 1 apiece. Headed to Houston. Royals were the first home team to win a game in the postseason so far in Major League Baseball as they come back from a 4-1 deficit to pick up that win. Cardinals are about to follow suit. They were up 4-0. I'm sure that's over by now as well. In the National League, the Dodgers Mets in progress, just underway right now. So it's an exciting time of the year with football, baseball, high school football going on. We encourage everybody to take part in all of it. And again, we have our local high school football scoreboard show coming up at 10:05. Thanks to everybody for bearing with me tonight. I made it through.
You made it through. That was what we
I still have a
going
voice.
for.
It doesn't sound like mine, but I still have one. Thanks to our color commentator, Todd Clover. This is Dustin. Good night from Victoria, Kansas.